What's up, guys? On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to grow an Instagram page as an artist. Now, I will let you know right now, I am not an artist. I am actually a marketer. So good news for you, because if you feel like you are great at art, but as far as the sales part of the process goes, that's where you could use a little bit of help. You have come to the right video. I have worked with a bunch of artists, and I'm going to be teaching you a marketing strategy today that doesn't require you to be an expert copywriter or get all salesy or anything like that to attract an audience of people who love your art. So by the end of this entire strategy, if you apply everything I'm going to teach you today, the goal is that you would gain a few hundred, if not a few thousand more followers on your Instagram, TikTok, wherever you post your art, maybe even your Etsy store, we can get you followers there. This is going to be a strategy that grows your entire base of people who love your art, which is really what you need to really start getting more consistent sales. So if that sounds good to you, smash the like button, the subscribe, all that good stuff. I come out with a lot of videos that are very unique strategies that will teach you exactly how to do them, whether you're a pro marketer or not. You have found the right video for growing your art account. So let's get right into it. Before I teach you my strategy, let me just talk about a couple things that you might be doing right now that if they're not getting you all the results that you would hope for, you are not alone and it would not be weird. All right. The first one is posting on Reels and TikTok. This is something that you should absolutely do. You can simply film your art, put a trending audio on it. You basically just maybe follow some trends or whatever. You just get your art out there and you probably get a ton of views. Really great for keeping in the loop with your current followers too, so that they can always see what new art you're coming out with. But since people are on Instagram in their leisure time and they're scrolling fast and they see your art, they're not always like, ooh, let me buy that right now, right? So even if you get your reels to go viral, it's really hard to rely on it getting you, a consistent amount of sales every single month. As far as your main marketing sales channel, it's not that great. The second thing that people do is they run ads on Facebook and Instagram. So you can either promote the post right from Instagram, or you can go into Facebook Ads Manager, and I'll be doing a little bit of a demo in Facebook Ads Manager. So if that has confused you in the past, just sit tight. I'm going to show you some ways that as an artist, you can do some things to target the exact audience of people that you're looking for. But you run ads that usually say something along the lines of like 20% off or 35% off or free framing for the next week or some kind of deal on your art. If not, then it's usually just running ads to your art with no call to action, which is also not going to get you any sales because you're not actually asking people to buy. But if you do an ad where you just ask people to buy, this can work out if you nail your target audience and you really have a piece of art that people absolutely love. It's a good price. You catch them at the right time where they actually have an empty space on their wall that needs to be filled and they're actively looking for art. But a lot of times as an artist, you have people that live in your community for years before they actually buy from you. Maybe they finally move and they need new art for their home, or they finally get sick of a piece of art that they have on their wall and they finally want to replace it with you. And that's why a lot of times when artists run ads to just try to sell their product directly, it is so situation based of whether or not that person is ready to buy or not at that time that is really hard to do profitably, especially if you have less than $100 profit margin on your prints, which I'm sure most of you do on your prints. On your custom work, I'm sure it's more than that, but that's way harder to sell through ads just because there's so few people who are actually looking for custom paintings, and targeting those people is not really possible in Facebook and Instagram either. You can just target people that are generally interested in wall art and prints and such like that. But as far as catching them at the right time, most artists that I've seen try to run ads where they just try to sell their products directly. It's usually very unprofitable for them. It might cost even upwards of $100 of marketing before they even get a sale, and at that point they're in the red. So it doesn't work that well. So the way that I'm going to teach you how to run ads from here, if you got a pen and paper, make sure you get it here. You're going to want to take some notes. Of course, you can just come back through this video here, but I'll be moving kind of quick. If you are familiar with marketing a little bit, I'm sure this will make a lot of sense to you right away. If you're newer, then you might just have to play this back, but this is essentially the way that I've seen artists run ads very successfully. So rather than running an ad to selling their product right away, they run a giveaway for a credit to their art store, or maybe like their top selling painting or something like that. So I've had some artists that I've seen do this in the past. They gave away like a specific painting to an audience of people that would love that. Like one guy had a Michael Jordan painting, and he ran a giveaway to people who are interested in Michael Jordan, so it can be like that. Or you can just say, hey, I got an entire store of art that you can pick whatever you want. You can get a $200 gift card, shopping spree, something along those lines. And the reason why this works very well is because the people that enter the giveaway are those who say, I like your art style. I would like your art, whether it be now or down the road. I mean, if it's free, sure, I'll take it now, right? So all these people who love your art enter right away. And the way that we get an entry for the first step is just name and email, okay? This is just because Facebook and Instagram, that's what's compliant when running ads. So we do run ads to this. I don't recommend doing it with influencers for a lot of reasons. But again, I will be showing you in the back end why the ads manager in Facebook is so much more targeted than if you try to run a giveaway with an influencer. So to touch on that, a lot of times artists will team up with like another artist, and they'll all put their art into like a big pile, and then the giveaway you can enter by like following all of them. Not a good idea, all right? This will get you a lot of people that will be following you because they like someone else's art style, and then if they keep following you and just not liking your post, that's not good. Or they'll just unfollow you once the giveaway is over because they were just following you, to gain an entry. But you never want to run a giveaway like the way I'm talking about, a way that will actually get you sales and customers. You would never want to run it with another account, okay? None of this follow all these people to enter, follow everyone we're following, no tag 3 friends, because when people do tag 3 friends, they just tag the 3 friends that won't kill them for entering them in a giveaway. None of that stuff is actually good. Share it to your story. People don't really want to do that. All these things really restrict you getting the max amount of entries. So the way that has proven time and time again the best way to do it is you actually just ask for name and email on the first step, because everyone just does it right away. Okay, if you like my art, name and email, they're in right away. The second step, though, is where the magic happens. So what I like to do is after the name and email have been entered, on the next page, it says, you've got 1 entry. We'll let you know in a couple weeks if you won the giveaway to a credit to my art store, or if this is like a debut, like a grand store opening. This is perfect timing to do this. You're going to be the first person to win my art ever. So we'll let you know in a couple weeks if you won. In the meantime, if you would like to improve your chances to win, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Pinterest. You can follow me on TikTok. You can follow my Etsy store. You can do whatever you really need. You can tell me what your favorite piece of art from my store is for some extra entries, okay? Gain some extra data like that. This is the step where you can really just put whatever your company needs as an extra entry so that we can grow everything you're trying to do in one marketing campaign. So especially if you're like a brand new artist and you do this strategy and you do it the right way, and I'm gonna give you plenty of resources to really help you do this the right way, because it's complicated. It's simple and it's complicated, but of course when it comes down to all the little intricacies of like exactly what the ad should look like and what to say, it can get complicated. So I'll be sure to give you some extra resources if you really want to implement this that will help you at the end of this video. So let me show you really quick how an artist might be able to design an audience in the Facebook Ads Manager backend that would be their exact clients that they're looking for. So over here, I'm going to start by just clicking create on an ad. I'm just going to get in there quick. Conversions, manual conversions campaign, always, never the advantage plus conversions campaign. And I'm just going to go right to the audience so I can show you that. So going down to the detailed targeting here, if you're an artist and you want to find people who would love your art and also buy it, here's a couple of the ways that you could do so. So let's say that your art was a very modern art style. So one of the things you could do is you could say if they're interested in modern art. And let's say that on top of that, your art style was kind of similar to like Banksy. Like, of course, it's not like Banksy, the very famous artist, but like the people who would like Banksy's art, you feel like they would like your art as well. You feel like that audience would be very similar. So what I'm going to do here, we've got modern art selected. Rather than typing that Banksy interest here, because what that would mean is that they would have to be interested in modern art or Banksy, I'm going to try to make this a very targeted audience. So I'm going to click on narrow audience, and I'm going to say that they have to be interested in modern art and Banksy to be in my audience. And that's going to make it the smaller audience size. So now it's at about 680,000, we'll say, high sixes, low 700,000s. And I'm going to go a little bit more narrow with it too. So let's say that this person, that your art is a little bit more expensive. So typically married couples are more likely to buy it. Let's say that. Let's say that they also have to be married, these people, in order to see the ads. So now we've got two incomes in that household, or the chance at two incomes in the household too. So maybe you've just found that a lot of people who buy your art are married, especially if it's like love-based art. Then that would, being in a relationship might make them more likely to buy it. You know about your art, but here's just a couple random things that you're capable of doing in Facebook ads that really make it so you can find your exact customers. And then I'm going to give you one more trick here. We're going to narrow further, and we're going to say engaged shoppers. And this is a behavior trait in here that makes it that we say these are people who buy a lot of stuff online. That's what we want to be the other qualification here. So this is someone who likes modern art, they like Banksy, they're married, and they buy stuff online a lot. The audience is more in that 80,000 to 94,000 range. I probably won't go much smaller than that with most ad campaigns. So this would just be a way that now you can even, define the age more, the locations. This is just set to the United States too. So there's way more people than that in the world that fit these qualifications. But this is just a few tips for you on how detailed you can get in trying to find your audience. And when you can do paid ads, rather than relying on influencers to post it for you, this will only show to people who are exactly your target audience, when a lot of influencers will have fake followers or they'll have low engagement on the post that they make for you, and it really doesn't get out to that many people. And the people that it goes out to, only so many of them are really into your art specifically. So it's very hard for working with influencers, whether they be micro or macro, to really get you the sales that you want. So this is a much more targeted audience. But moving on here, the first step, collect a name, email and name, all right, because that's what Facebook ads are cool with, because these ads are going to run to only people who are very targeted customers. And if they like your art, they enter. On the next step, if they want to gain some additional entries, they can follow your TikTok, Instagram, literally whatever you want, so that we grow everything at once. And then on the last step, we announce who won the giveaway. So on the day that it's all over, we say, hey, this is the person who won our art. And actually, here, I'm going to grab this art because I'm not an artist, all right? I went to the point of paying an artist on Fiverr when I had this aquarium e-commerce company. We wanted to do some print on demand art. So we had a bunch of betta fish accessories. So we're what if we get someone to paint a betta fish for us? And these actually didn't work. And I kind of knew because we had run a giveaway for these. So I'll tell you the results of that one. I know it sounds bad. I'll tell you the results of that one in a second. But basically on the last day of the giveaway, what you do is you say, here's the one person who won. For everyone else, thank you so much for playing. As a consolation prize over the next week, you can get 20% off my entire store, 30% off my entire store, free framing, whatever you want to do. Just some special grand debut just for the people who entered your contest and lost. And the reason this works so well is because that email that announces the winner, everyone opens it because they want to see if they won. So now while we have everyone's attention, and then they were really hoping to win that last day, they were really hoping to win your art, but they didn't, they at least get the consolation of, hey, if you still wanted to get some, you can at least get some for a lot cheaper. And if they buy, great. If they don't, it's not a big deal because they follow you everywhere. Because maybe they say, hey, I really love your art style, but right now I live in a small apartment. Every space on the wall is completely taken up. I'm about to move out in 6 months, and that's when they'd rather buy from you. So rather than running ads that result in either a sale or nothing, we run ads in this way so that they're on our email list, they're on your Instagram, they're on your Pinterest, just wherever you want to be and nowhere else, okay? So, you don't have to do any of these things if you're not on any of those platforms, but just the platforms that you're actually growing on, you'd gain their follow so that you have a bunch of people who want to be in your community because they love your style. So if they don't buy at the end, it's all good. They still follow you everywhere. And if they are ever going to buy your art, then they will. And they'll see all of your new collections released and everything like that moving forward. So that's kind of what I was going to say about like this piece of art here, because we ran the giveaway for it and we had run a bunch of giveaways in that market before. We had a bunch of like different paintings, by the way. There was like 9 different ones that we were testing, and we ran, just pick any piece of art that you want from our grand debut. And we had run a bunch of these giveaways in the past, and we kind of knew the cost per entry with some of our more popular products was a lot less. So this was one that once we saw the results coming in, that our cost per entry was a little bit higher than we would typically like. We knew that it wasn't as popular as some of our other products just from running the giveaway. So at the end, we ran a sale. We got some sales. Ultimately, we kind of knew that this was not the direction our company wanted to move in. We should just stick to the little fish tank, accessories. So we did. And that's kind of why this is such a great marketing strategy, because if you get to the end and you don't get nearly as many sales as you'd like, it's okay, because you can, fight another day. They still follow you everywhere. So as you come out with new art or new products, you'll have another chance to market to them in the future. So if you are an artist that you just came out with your first 10 paintings and you're wanting to see if they sell, or you're a fashion designer and you want to see if your new line of art or, clothing is going to sell, but it doesn't get as good of results as you thought, it's all good. You can go back to the drawing board, make new art, and then run another giveaway for the new stuff, or, just run a sale on the new stuff to that old audience who entered the previous giveaway. So that's how we were able to utilize it there. But it was great because we were able to get conclusive data that this was not a product that the market really wanted. And a lot of companies, especially artists, will try to sell the same art for years before they really realize, hey, I don't know if this is, it might be a really cool art piece, but as far as a print on people's wall or as a design on a hoodie sweatshirt, it's not really doing well. And it takes a long time for a lot of people that just post their product every couple weeks on Instagram or TikTok before they realize, I don't think the world really wants this. So it's a really great way to get more conclusive data on what's going to sell, what's not, so that you can really refine your store and, get sales. Because if you can get sales, then your dream of becoming a full-time artist is possible. If you're just the best artist ever, but you're not great at marketing, it's going to be very difficult for word of mouth advertising to get you all the sales you need. So doing a strategy like this is what I've seen as one of the simplest ways that non-marketers can create a very simple giveaway process for their art to gain a community of people who love their art. And then you can try to sell them to them at the end. And if they don't buy, they're still part of your community. So if you'd like some more help with this, I have 2 different ways that I can help you. The first one is I have a guide that will illustrate everything that I just went over, exactly how to set up the ad campaigns, the exact order of how you send the traffic, the pros and cons and little tips and tricks like that along the way of doing things, all that good stuff. So that guide is linked below. That is called How to Build and Monetize a Following in 90 Days or Less. And this is a strategy that really lives up to that name, because it really doesn't take much longer than 90 days as long as you know the process. So you can get that free guide if you just want some more free help for you to do it yourself and just go through that. If you would like some more help directly and you say, this is what I want to do, I've got an art store, I need to launch this, I want to launch it the first time, the right time, I want to do everything just right the first time, I have got you covered there. I have a program that if you would like to do this strategy, but then speak to me once a week during the process so that I can refine everything with you. Make sure I look over the ads, and before you spend $1 on ads, to make sure that I say, this looks good, this looks like it's gonna work. I've done this over 100 times. I'd be happy to help you out with that too. So you can book a free call with me first, so you can ask me whatever questions you have on how this process works, and then I can make sure that you would actually, fit the qualifications that I would have for someone being in this program. But if it works out, awesome. This is something I have very effectively priced because, hey, artists of the world are underpaid and underappreciated, but I've got this set up where if you could use some help running your first ad campaign and you'd just like to talk to someone throughout the way, this is a way that I can really help you at a great rate. So book a free call with me first and we can talk about that. Those are the 2 resources for you below. Hope that was valuable for you today. Again, consider subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you next time.